Welcome into Wager Talk TV. I am Megan Payton, joined by Andy Lang and Brian Power of WagerTalk.com. Football season is back. One of the most anticipated games of the offseason, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. This is the rematch, the Week 18 rematch where the Raiders win in overtime. Andy, I'm coming to you first because there has been some fantastic additions. The Chargers getting linebacker Khalil Mack, six-time Pro Bowler, the Raiders reuniting Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, who's a five-time Pro Bowler. What prop bets are you expecting to see here?
I hate to burst the bubble on the Devontae Adams and Derek Carr connection. I'm going under 256.5 yards passing for Derek Carr. I think this line's a little inflated because there's a lot of hype behind this team. Check the Chargers secondary. It's very improved. They added J.C. Jackson and Callahan. We got Asante Samuel in year two. And Derek Carr, last game of the year, he had 186 yards passing against this Chargers team in overtime. I'm not sure this offense clicks in the first game of the year, especially in this high-profile game. I think it takes a few games for Derek Carr and Devontae Adams to get on the same page. So I think this number is a little inflated. We got some value on the under. Mike Williams, I love this guy on his longest receiving play, and it's 22.5 yards for his longest reception. I'm going to be playing this a lot this year. He went over this total in 11 out of 16 games, including the last 5 games of the year. Pro Football Focus has the Raiders secondary ranked 29th in the league. It seems like there's going to be some big plays. We know Herbert loves throwing the long ball. I'm going to play Mike Williams a lot. I don't know if it's going to be one of those play it every single week, but for the first 3 or 4 games, I'm going to be playing this quite a bit, maybe a 2% play. Give me Mike Williams over his longest reception and Derek Carr under his passing yards.
And Brian, we've got 99% of the money bet on the over right now, or the total is set at 52 right now. We've got a little bit of favoritism going to the Chargers, -3.5. So how are you handicapping this anticipated game?
Okay, so more nerdy math here. And if you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, you're going to want to cover your ears because the Raiders are near the top of my regression list for 2022. Much like Andy talked about, I am not a huge buyer on the Carr to Adams connection, paying huge dividends. This is a team last year that made the playoffs despite a -65-point differential. To put that number in perspective, only 5 teams over the previous 31 seasons had ever won 10 games while being outscored. 12 of last year's 14 playoff teams, remember we expanded the playoffs, they had a point differential of at least +59. Only the 9-win Steelers, who I also think are set to regress, by the way, joined the silver and black in the negative. So really the Raiders were a historically bad playoff team last year, which makes them an easy candidate to regress. And let's take it a step further. 7-2 in one-score games last year, which is lucky, but you're going to see that every year in the NFL. What you will not see every year, however, is a team go 4-0 in overtime games like the Raiders did. Yes, they won 4-0 in overtime games. Just the second team in 30 years to do that. The other was the 2011 Cardinals. What did they do the next year? Fell down to 5 wins. The Raiders also faced 4 backup quarterbacks last year, and they went 3-1 in those games. So in case you couldn't tell, not a big buyer on Las Vegas coming into the year. I am a buyer on the Chargers. Think they can win the AFC West. Like a lot of people love Justin Herbert. Defense should be better. Lord knows it can't be worse against the run. The hook scares me, though. And I'm probably just going to say go money line. I know that's like they're at -185 in that regard, but I am very confident the Chargers win this game and avenge that loss you talked about, Megan, in the final week of the regular season, which sent them home and the Raiders to the playoffs.
Kickoff Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern in a division that we cannot wait to see play out here at the AFC West. Great stuff from Brian and Andy. You can see more from them at WagerTalk.com. Also follow them on Twitter. Andy's at Bump Sports and Brian at Brian Powers _wins. And download the WagerTalk TV app if you haven't already. Stay in the know as we get ready for the NFL season.